Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Monday, January 5th edition of the Sacred News and Weather, and a very, very happy new year to all of you. I have been on a little bit of a hiatus. I had actually hoped to come in here a little more frequently than I did, but I've been with my kids and it's been busy and it's been quiet and it's been beautiful and it's been challenging. It's been all the things, but I am delighted to finally be landing back in my work in the world. My kids are still home today. They don't go back to school until tomorrow, but Mama needed to get her life going. So here I am. I'm grateful to have you all here with me. I hope you missed me as much as I missed you, and I'm excited to get started. I have a hair in my mouth. I usually do, whether it's mine or a dog's or a cat's or a kid's, I don't even know. Um, Without any further ado, I'm going to move into today's message, just reminding you that these messages are timeless. So, should you be receiving it in real time or at a later date, or even at a very later date, there's likely going to be something here for you if you're tuning in. If you are listening and you are not finding yourself in my message, please do not try and fit yourself into a box. My work in the world is to get people to come out of their boxes, not to try and anchor you into a new one. So if you're not finding yourself, go ahead and move right along. There are plenty more messages below, and there will be plenty more to come. So with that said, I'm closing my eyes. And I'm going to share with you some of the imagery that came through for our collective. The first was an image from the tarot, which is the Wheel of Fortune, which is just circle of life, usually fortune turning toward the right direction when that card is upright. And I was very much feeling that energy of circle of life and Wheel of Fortune shifting in our favor. And also remembering at the same time that while we are in a new year according to the Julian calendar, we are not truly, at least by my energetic feels, in a new year until that lunar new year on February 17th. So we are still in this in-between time, where we are leaving behind the energy of the wood snake, of that shedding of old structures and old forms that are not serving us, and moving into that fire horse, that fast moving energy of creation that is to come. And we're in this in between state where, because that ball dropped, the mushroom dropped, as it does in our town, whatever it is that dropped in your town to indicate that we are in a new year, because that happened, I can feel where some of you are feeling like, okay, new year, new me, new things, let's go. But I just want to remind you that that's not quite the energy that's happening, even if the calendar date, the outside world, even numerology, we've just been in a 9 year, a year of completion, and we go to the 10, which actually gets reduced to 1, which is a new beginning. So numerologically, I was going to step all over that word, we are technically in a new beginning, but just reminding you that the calendar is kind of a funky thing. I mean, if you look at the words, the Latin roots of our months, December is 10, not 12. November is 9, not 11. September is 7. October is 8. So we're all off numerologically anyway. So I want you to find all this to say, I want you to find you in there. What feels right to you? Are you ready to take off? Have you been ready to take off for a while? Or are you still in that slower shedding time? I know that I am. And that, as a general rule, I am not ready for my new year until the lunar new year. And also, my birthday, and this may be true for you, is also a marking of a personal new year. So, you find you in there and find what feels good and move from that place. There's something going on downstairs. I can hear my son. I have a feeling that my little dog is trying to pee somewhere she shouldn't because it's pouring rain out and she doesn't want to go outside. And this has been our battle. Anyway, getting back to that Wheel of Fortune and that turning of cycles and cycles turning, there were more images that came with that. I could see like a small child going from infancy. What I saw was a little baby like sitting to a little baby moving to standing and like wobbling and falling and getting back up again and wobbling and falling and getting back up again. And just that image of wobbling and falling and getting back up again. And I was also watching the baby grow to where they weren't falling so much, and then they were pushing things, and then they were riding bicycles, and then they were just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and moving all the way through to an elderly place. So there was this image also of a life cycle from infancy to elder. And there was an image that came through of almost Sistine Chapel of the elder touching the finger. Can I do this with my eyes closed? I think this is a neurological exam that I'm about to give myself. Touching fingers with the infant and remembering the wisdom that comes from each age, from each the wisdom of our youth and the wisdom of our crone or our elder years, whether you're masculine or feminine, the wisdom of the elder being exchanged with the wisdom of the infant, the toddler, and our younger selves, and being invited to really feel the connectivity between the two. Now, for some of you, there's a feeling of identifying with some of the wounding that was happening when you were a child and you were growing up, and that act of connecting in with the wise elder who knows what has transpired and who has learned and grown. And I heard forgiveness. Like there's so much forgiveness that happened throughout that life cycle for that elder person to become the elder, the wise elder. And there's a feeling of letting go of shame, of blame, of fault, of narratives that place the blame on others. It's not to say that others in your life have not been very much guilty of wounding you, of of causing harm, of really you carrying those narratives and energetic narratives through your being to where you might have caused harm as an adult, as an unknowing adult, or even as a knowing adult. I'm not here to judge you and judge your actions. And I'm inviting you to let go of that judgment as well, to come to the understanding that everything that happens across our lifespan, everything that we endure, is an invitation for us to look deeper and learn and heal and grow. And again, I keep hearing forgive. And for some of you, there's a real element of needing to forgive yourself. It doesn't even feel like here that we're asking ourselves to forgive others. This feels very personal. This feels very inward. It feels like we are not necessarily watching the life cycles of our children or our elders, but we are experiencing our own energy. And there's something about the turning of the calendar. There's something about the new year that has us reflecting on where we've been. But in the spirit of bending time and space and energy, we're also being invited to feel into the wisdom of our elder self, no matter where you are on your timeline. If you're young or you identify as your elder self, it doesn't matter. It's inviting that energy of your wise elder into your beingness to see almost what I just heard was like grandmother. And for me, I have a very beautiful or had a beautiful relationship with my grandmother when she was in this life. She was my primary source of wisdom and understanding and honestly unconditional love. And so there's this feeling of inviting yourself to look upon where you have been with the love of a loving grandparent, with the love of a wise elder who can see all of you, who can see where you have been and can know that you are innocent and you are beautiful and you are inherently deserving and worthy of being loved and adored and of receiving love and giving that love forward. Just those, I just see the sweetest eyes of a grandmother gazing upon your whole timeline and just loving up on every part of who you've ever been and really inviting you to come into that place of loving up on every stage of your life, every foible, every success, every folly, every joy, really looking back, if only for a moment, on all of the places and spaces that you have been in your life and offering yourself so much love and forgiveness so that as that wheel turns, as you move into your next phase of living, you're doing so fully from a place of love, of embodied love of self, and love of present moment, and love of where you're going. I'm going to cough. Excuse me. There's something here. I'm seeing that wobbly baby again. And there's something here. So I'm just going to sit with it for a moment and see if I can pinpoint what's happening. And I apologize. My kids are having a loud conversation, I think, because the rain picked up in a very mighty way right now. And they're saying, "Oh my God, we have a waterfall that flanks. We have two little seasonal waterfalls that flank our home. And right now it sounds like class 5 rapids in front and back of the house, and so it might just be that the water is flowing onto the road. Anyway, coming back to that wobbling toddler, what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing is that as that wheel of fortune turns, as we turn toward the energy of the fire horse, you are going to be, and some of you are already there, where you are taking on something new, or you're about to take on something new, whether it's new work in the world, whether it's a new relationship. There's something new that is unfolding in your world. And there's this feeling of wobbling. And there's this feeling of, oh, if I'm wobbling, if I'm unsteady on my feet, like I have to get really steady on my feet before I take the next step. And what I'm here to remind you of is that that is inherently not true. That is some part of your wounding, which says that you need to be like perfect and perfectly stable and perfectly ready to put that next foot forward firmly and to land. And then the next one needs to land and land. And there's like this feeling of, unless I can walk firmly across this floor, across this desert, across this landscape into my future, unless I can feel really firm and really sure, I can't go. I have to wait until I know that where I step, I'm going to be landing on terra firma and it's all going to be okay. And that's just not true. Sorry, there's something. Nora, what's up? I'm going to pause for a second. My daughter just came inside. Sorry about that. We were missing our blue headphones. I think they are found. Where was I? I came all the way out to find headphones. And now I'm trying to come back in. Terra firma, the image of, unless I can step firmly on this ground, knowing exactly who I am and knowing where I am going, then I should not be taking these next steps. And I'm calling bullshit on that, is what I'm doing. And this actually feels very much in alignment with the energy of Epiphany, or Three Kings Day in the more Christian Judaic tradition, in that if we could see the whole road laid out before us, if we could see that whole road, we might not take that next step. If we could see the whole picture, we might decide, oh, that's not for me. When in fact, every step of the way, even if you don't like the outcome, when you're seeing the whole road before you and that outcome is like, nope, that's not what I want. So I'm just not going to walk. Forgetting that every step that we take is leading us toward our next unfolding, leading us toward where we are meant to go, how we are meant to learn in the world. And so it is by sacred design that we cannot know our futures, that we cannot see exactly where we're going, and that we're being invited to take that next, perhaps wobbly step, but to hold it in the frequency of toddlerhood, where you wobble and you fall and you just get right up again and you go back to being busy and doing exactly what you had been doing, whether you're playing with something or moving toward someone that you want to connect with. It doesn't matter the what. The feeling is that the wobble is exactly correct. And if it is the fear of wobbling or the fear of falling that keeps you from taking that next step, you may in fact be keeping yourself from your greatest blessings, your greatest joys, your highest unfolding, your next big thing. And so we're being invited today as the Wheel of Fortune turns. And again, it's turning for most of us. It's in that upright position. It is going toward the good. And I'm hearing the good. That's a very Mary Magdalene phrase. That Mary Magdalene referred to God, referred to consciousness, referred to that which was bigger is bigger than herself, that resides inside herself, not as God or Father, but as the good. So as that Wheel of Fortune turns toward the good, toward what is designed for you, toward what is meant for you and your highest unfolding, we're being invited to really trust that wobble, to allow yourself to wobble, knowing that as you put each foot in front of the other, as you make the next right choice and the next choice and the next choice and the next choice, your footing will grow stronger. Where you're going will become more clear, and where you don't want to go will also clarify. But we need to allow ourselves to wobble. We need to know that the wobble is part of the process. It's part of growing. It's part of the unfolding. And I just want to go back to that image of the child and the crone. And again, I'm seeing feminine images, but it's really neither here nor there. This is not genderized or anything else. It's just the imagery that I'm seeing. And just allowing that communication to happen, allowing your healthful child, your wounded child, and your wise elder to really come together into where you are today as this beautiful manifestation of your soul's purpose, of who you were always meant to be. And trusting that even if you don't understand where you are now, and even if you feel paused or held back and your momentum wants to go, but you're being slightly held back, just trusting where you are now as the exact right place and trusting yourself to move forward no matter how forceful and strong or wobbly you feel. I'm just going to be quiet for a moment to see if there's anything else that wants to come. But I don't think there is. I think we are complete for today. Thank you for tuning in. I will be back on Wednesday and again on Friday. I'm going to do my best to be present here regularly moving forward. I do want to invite you all into the Red Thread, which is a mystery school, which is about to begin next Wednesday. My delightful BFF and partner in all sorts of wonderful things, Eden St. Clair, and I have finally combined forces officially. We're LLCing ourselves as we speak and forging our own mystery school. And this first iteration of the Red Thread is going to be beautiful. It is going to be simple. We are going to be meeting on Wednesday mornings at 9:30 Pacific for an hour and a half each week to unpack the Kabbalah alongside the chakras, alongside the sacraments, to really understand where and how energy lives in our bodies and how language over the centuries and religion, organized religion over the centuries, and the mystics over the centuries have twisted and turned and gathered and collected. We're going to begin to unpack our own knowingness and our own studies with you there. We will be also doing guided meditations and energy work, energetic journeys. We will be teaching tarot. We will be teaching numerology. We will be teaching all of the things that we know and love, and some of what I bring here to you. So if this piques your interest, please comment below. I'm happy to get on a call with you. It's going to be extremely ridiculously affordable for the amount of the volume of work, the volume of information you're going to receive. And we're doing that intentionally because ours is a really weird world right now, and the economy is questionable, and we want you to feel good about your yes. I can assure you that our introductory price is not going to last. We're going to be opening a new cohort in March as well. So you have another chance if you're not quite ready for January. But if you are and you want to talk to me about it, comment below, and I'm happy to get on a call with you to talk a little bit more about the red thread. Otherwise, we begin next Wednesday with the root, Malchut, the sacrament of baptism, also known as the root chakra. So we will be going in and going deep, and I would love to have you there. So that's what I have for today. We'll talk soon. Thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, all the things. Bye-bye.